Hi, I'm Lauren from LSP Actions, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to get started with and use the LSP tree light bokeh overlays. So after downloading from the website, you're going to need to unzip or extract the files. You need to go ahead and find out wherever the files have downloaded to, normally your downloads folder, and you'll notice that the file is a zip file because it has the extension ZIP. You can't actually open and use these files, they're compressed for easier, faster download. So if you're on a Mac, you're going to want to use the archive utility. If you're on Windows, you need to right click and choose extract all. And what this is going to do, it's going to make a usable version of the file. It might open up in a new window like this, or it might just appear next to it. Either way, the file, this is a normal folder. If you're on a Mac, the folder will appear blue, or depending on which operating system you use. So you can go ahead and open this up, and inside you're going to see you have all these different tree lights. Let's just make them a little bit bigger. All these different tree lights that you can drag and drop over your image. If you do know, there's actions here to apply. I'm going to show you how to use this in just a minute, but if you want to just drag and drop an image over the top, one of the tree lights for example, you can just drag it over your image. It will appear black. You need to be able to see your layers panel. If you can't, come up to window, hit layers, and here where it says normal on the drop down, come down and change it to screen, and then you can add these tree light overlays any way you want them to show. For example here. That's how you do it manually. If you need to take the lights off anyway, you're going to have to come down the bottom and click to add a layer mask, the little rectangle with a circle in, choose a brush set to black, and that means you can paint the lights off any way you don't want them to show. That's how you add manually. I'm going to show you how to install and use the complementary actions that kind of do it all for you. First, you need to be able to see your actions panel, so come up to window and hit actions. If you're on elements, your actions may look a little bit like this, probably a lighter colour. If you're on Photoshop Creative Cloud, your actions might look coloured. For bringing the actions in, you're going to want to come up here and hit button mode to come off button mode if they look coloured, just for a moment. You can bring the actions by coming up here and hitting load actions, or you can double click. On the LSP Actions website there is a tutorial dedicated to loading your actions in, so do visit there if you have any troubles. You're going to want to make sure you've unzipped and extracted the tree light bokeh folder, otherwise you won't be able to see the actions. Double click here and the actions have loaded in at the bottom of the panel. Can you see here? You have the actions for LSP have a little triangle. Not for all actions, just the LSP ones I pop a little triangle in there like a play button, so you have applied the tree lights layer. And then afterwards you click on the layer, you can add some changes to it. If you're not in button mode, you're on elements, you can click the action and hit play. For elements your play will be at the top here. Hit play and it's going to say a window will pop up, you locate the tree lights and hit place. Make sure you're placing from the unzipped file, not the compressed file. So go ahead and open that up. And now you can locate the tree lights that you want to add to your image. So for this one, how about we choose, let's go for something like this. So you're just going to resize that, rotate it. You can even squeeze it in smaller if you need to by dragging the bounding box in like this. Hit enter and a little box will pop up saying you can now move it, you can reposition, you can paint. And that's it, it's been added in for you. See there before and after. The black brush has already been chosen for you and the mask, so you can paint it. Now underneath we have extra options, blur, brighten and darken. So I'm going to hit on brighten for now and we can just paint that on, and that's just going to give that extra brightness to the tree lights. How about we add another one? So again I'm going to click apply the tree lights, hit continue and choose which lights we're going to put on. How about we choose something a little bit more dense for this one to see what that one looks like. So I'm just going to make that nice and big because this tree is rather large in the background. And hit OK or double click and they've come on. Just going to paint that off the little girl's face. And again I'm going to hit brighten. So you see there before and after, adding those real bokeh lights to your trees. Let's try another image. So here we have the image is a little bit darker. The darker your image, the more the lights are going to show. So let's click on apply tree light, hit continue, and let's see which ones we're going to put on our image. How about this one? Looks like the lights are wrapping around the tree a little bit. So I'm just going to resize this You can always right click, you can warp this, you can transform, you can do anything you need to make this kind of fit your image. And when you're happy, double click or hit enter. Hit stop on the box and the lights are added. If they're anywhere they shouldn't be, you can just brush them off. You also have a blur the lights option here on the action, so I'm going to hit play on that one. You see it's just added that blur in, we can turn that on or off. You can also double click where it says Gaussian blur and you can add your own level of blur in. Everything here is very editable. If you're editing in button mode, I'm just going to make the action smaller. I'm going to come right down to the bottom because the actions appear at the bottom, and let's make our action panel smaller so we only have the tree lights live. Here we go. So with button mode you can click apply a tree lights layer. You don't have to click play, you can just click it, that's why button mode is great. Let's add another windy one. Some colours in and hit double click and hit OK. Stop, black brush has been selected so I can take that off her face anywhere we don't want these to be. And I'm going to brighten and hit the tree light again before you play any of these. Always hit the tree light you want to edit because you may have a few in there. And I'm going to hit blur. I said always make sure the tree light is selected and it's added that blur in. You can double click where it says Gaussian blur and you can change the blur to suit your image depending on how shallow a depth of field you have in there. As an update now, you also have golden lights and rainbow lights. And this allows you to tweak the colour. So if we play golden lights now and I grab a white brush, I can bring this over and this is going to make any lights gold. So if there's some lights that you really love the shape of, you don't want them coloured or vice versa, you can play with these. Whereas if you play rainbow lights, you can add a load of colours in like this to the lights. Just by clicking and painting on, as long as you've had the light selected first, you can do this really easily. So let's add another one here. Completely different image here. This is a lovely natural light image. So I'm going to hit apply tree lights to layer first. Hit continue. And let's choose which lights are going to work well for this image. I want something quite elegant. How about tree light 16 here? So I'm just going to bring that in. It doesn't matter that it's going over the presence because a brush is selected. So I'm just going to shrink my brush down a little bit by using square bracket keys, and we can do that. On the Gaussian blur here, we can take this off. We can bring it in up. We can, you know, mess around with that even more. Hit OK. I'm just going to brighten these lights up a little bit too using the brighten brush. Paint some rainbow colours on them, not for this image, but just to show you what that does. And have some golden lights. Just warms them up a bit, just adds that beautiful subtle bokeh to the background. This beautiful image here by Amy Knowles at Slinky Photography, edited using the LSP Christmas Magic Photoshop actions. Let's add some tree lights to this one. So we want a nice skinny tree light, although we can paint some of it off. So I'm just hitting OK. Get the brush and paint this off our subjects. Let me click the blur and actually take that down a little bit. How about we make them golden? So I'm just going to paint that on. And we see there, before and after, just adding those beautiful lights to the image. Gorgeous shot here by Libby Edwards Photography. I'm going to click apply tree lights. We have two trees to apply to. Let's do some coloured ones for this one. So I'm just going to resize this and drag it in a little bit skinnier for the skinny tree here. This one actually has a little star on top, but we don't need that one, so I can use the black brush that's been created to just take that off, and taking it off anywhere where these lights don't need to show. And again, let's add another tree light. We're looking over the other side now. So again, we want to add something colourful, just so it all kind of matches up. How about we go for this one here? You can, of course, repeat and use the same tree light. You can flip them horizontal, you can change them, you can paint bits off. You can use the same one over and over again if you have a favourite. For example, this one here, if I want to add it again, I can show you how we can make that one look a little bit different. You can right click, flip horizontal, and that mirrors it. We're going to make it a little bit skinnier, change the angle a little bit. And using the black brush to paint this off anywhere we don't need it to show. So kind of just like that, you can use the same tree lights twice. And at any point you can click on them, you can move them, you can do whatever you need to do with these. There we go, before and after. Let's make them golden. Brush has already been selected, so I can just paint this on. And this one here, I'm going to click on it, make it golden. There we go. Off and on, turning the lights off and on. And one last one. Christmas tree farm wouldn't be tree farm without tree lights. So let's apply some golden tree lights to this one. How about we do lots of different tree lights on this one, just to make it look, you know, to kind of accentuate each tree that's there. Putting them in, just using the brush to paint this off. You can see there's already bokeh on this tree light background here. Can you see there? We just want to brighten what's up, what's there up a little bit. So let's add another one. How about we go for this one? For a little tree. Another little twinkling light. Let's pop in this one. But again, you can just rinse and repeat the same one if you have a favourite. Slightly taller tree now. How about we go for that one there. And one more to go. Let's go for this one here. This gorgeous image here by Carla Tier. Carla Tier Photography there. So let's just get that in. And hit stop. At any point you can just select any of these. You can turn them on or off. You can hit free transform to kind of just drag that out a little bit to change the shape of them. You can drag them around, you can move them. The image isn't flattened or done until you say so. So let's see there. No lights. With lights. So that's using the LSP Christmas tree light actions and applicators and the Christmas trees that are included. And inside here you have 25 different tree bokeh overlays to choose from. All the categories are all a little bit different, so I hope you love adding some Christmas magic to your Christmas images. Oops, cancel that. You see there before and after, adding different kind of colours and effects to these, different blur, different techniques. So I hope you love using these. If you don't own these already, you can get these over at lspactions.com. I'm Lauren, thanks for watching.